The Lafourche Parish Council meeting of May 14, 2024 is hereby called to order. Ms. Carleen, can you please conduct roll call?
Yes, sir. Mr. Brumfield.
Present.
Mr. Adams.
Present.
Mr. Perk.
Here.
Mr. Melvin.
Here.
Mr. Rodrigue.
Here.
Mr. Arabi.
Here.
Chairman Oten.
Here.
Mrs. Chasson is absent. Mr. Lorraine. And President Chasson.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carleen. If everyone would please rise, we'll be led in invocation by Councilman Rodrigue, followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Lorraine.
Dear Lord, we lift up our local leaders today. We pray for all of our mayors, councils, commissioners, police, and all who serve our local communities. Strengthen them with wisdom and grace for the heavy burdens they carry. May they manage their teams and projects with love, keep their hearts pure and their eyes turned toward your face as they work in the best interest of the people they're called to serve. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, we'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. We'd ask that everyone please silence your phones or turn them off out of respect for everyone else here. We'd also like to remind everyone, if you plan on addressing the council during public wishing to address the council, to please fill out a blue sheet at the doorway when you walked in. Get up to the council clerk. We'll be certain to recognize you. When we get to ordinances, we will ask for public input, and you can come up and speak on any other ordinances you so desire. On resolutions, once we read them, it'll go to council discussion and then right to vote. So particularly if you're interested in talking on a resolution, please fill out one of the blue forms and make sure you get up to the council clerk. With that said, we'll jump right into tonight's meeting. Item A, approval of minutes. Number one, I'll now entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the April 23rd, 2024 regular session. So moved by Councilman Melvin, second by Councilman Adams. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence, that absence being Councilwoman Chasson. Item B, state and/or federal legislative updates. We have none in the audience. Item C, we have none. Item D, proclamations. Number 2, Parish President Archie Chasson to present a proclamation proclaiming the week of May 19th through 25th as National Travel and Tourism Week. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir. And
there we go. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas the travel industry is essential to the success of every industry and will continue to be a critical part of Lafourche Parish's economy, development, and workforce. Whereas travel is an economic powerhouse for every state and destination across the country with an economic output of $2.8 trillion, supporting 15 million American jobs. And whereas travel spending supports vibrant and safe communities in Lafourche Parish and across the United States by generating $89 billion in state and local tax revenue in 2023 and supported essential services such as education, emergency response, and public safety. And whereas travel enables success for all industries, including manufacturing, agricultural, defense, healthcare, and more, by driving sales growth, innovation, education, and operations that move our economy and nation in Lafourche Parish forward. And whereas promoting Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, Lafourche Parish is a year-round, regional, national, and international travel destination, is vital to our local economy and creates revenues not paid by residents that fund important public services. And whereas tourism generated $88 million in visitor spending, $7 million in state taxes, and $3.5 million in local taxes in 2022 in Lafourche Parish. And whereas traveler spending has a direct economic impact of over $54 million and supports 980 jobs in Lafourche Parish. And whereas the American travel industry cannot be globally competitive without maximizing growth in leisure, business, and international inbound travelers, increasing travel to and within the United States drives our economy to be more prosperous and connects America. Whereas small businesses account for more than 60% of leisure and hospitality employment. And whereas travel is an essential industry, and we must continue to communicate that growing travel leads to growing economies, benefits businesses, fosters mutual understanding, and connects the nation. Now, therefore, I, Archie Chasson, Parish President Lafourche, do hereby proclaim May 19th through the 25th, 2024 as National Travel and Tourism Week. And we have Ms. Zarang and Ms. Crochet here on behalf of the Tourism Commission to accept the proclamation.
Hold on a second. There you go.
Good evening, Monique Crochet, 119 Elm Street in Thibodaux, Louisiana. On behalf of our administration and the board, we thank you for this, and we also appreciate our partnership. I've been a member of the board for a few years now, and I'm very proud to say that we are very well represented when it comes to tourism. Thanks again.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, item 3, Parish President Archie Chestnut to present a proclamation proclaiming the month of May as Older Americans Month. And Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas Lafourche Parish includes a growing number of older Americans who contribute their strength, wisdom, and experience to our parish, and whereas the parish benefits when people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds are welcome, included, and supported, and whereas Lafourche Parish recognizes our need to create a parish that provides the services and supports older Americans' need to thrive and live independently for as long as possible, and whereas Lafourche Parish acknowledges the importance of taking part in activities that promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being for everyone regardless of age. And whereas Lafourche Parish can work to build an even better community for older residents by planning programs that encourage independence, ensuring activities that are responsive to individual needs and preferences, and increasing access to services that support aging in place. Whereas Lafourche Parish citizens are urged to recognize the contributions of older citizens to help create an inclusive society and join efforts to support older Americans' choice about how they age in their communities. Now therefore, I, Archie Chestnut, Parish President Lafourche, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Older Americans Month. I know Ms. Charlene is here, and we have a whole host of people.
We're getting close to that.
It's Older Americans.
Yeah, I ought to be up there. Me and Mark ought to go. Mark will.
Look at Mr. Daniel, he's ignoring it. Well,
Yeah, pay attention, Mark.
hey, what?
Yeah, Mark. You know how old he is, he's even here.
You know, selective hearing, right? That's selective. We can roll you out there.
They all call me.
What's your position?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, to make sure. That's where I'm at, because it's not recommended, right?
And I see it.
1,700 foot. So are they 1,700 foot from the nearest hydrant? And natives. How many lots are these?
Yeah.
I guess my point is before you develop a subdivision, it's not 100 people. Look at all this stuff, right? That's right. Oh, you kidding me? Picture right now. Take it up.
I saw it's from an engineering firm. It's not even like an individual's company. It's like on behalf of a...
Oh, you know that?
Yes.
Most of the appeals have been by individuals before. So it's kind of like, that was an odd one.
So I guess my point is,
Is it on? No? Okay. Good afternoon. Thanks all for the proclamation. We appreciate everything y'all do for our seniors. Thanks for recognizing them for Older Americans Month. Our seniors are the best. They're the kind, considerate, and very polite. They know how to treat people, and they fit in wherever they go. I also want you to know that number 37 on the agenda, they're asking for help with their senior citizens. Whatever help y'all could do to help us, we'd really appreciate it. I also want you to know if someone calls and says that they're on a waiting list, they are, for the meals especially, because we've over budgeted. I think I told y'all that before. We're in the process of billing our office, and I let them before to get over budget because we had the funds, but now we have to get tighter on our budget. So I just wanted to let you all know that. I also want you to know that we no longer pay for our vehicles to be washed, which cost us $68 to $100 and something a vehicle. We partnered with the sheriff's office to do that for us free of charge. My office staff is now responsible to do the cleaning in the kitchen, the bathrooms, and in their office space. I no longer pay for that. So I just want you all to know that we're trying to budget as much as possible to do what we have to do. I'd like to give a shout out to my staff. They're a great team that pulls together through thick and thin. They're a great team players and willing to do whatever is needed to get the job done. And again, I want to thank them and thank you all for helping. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Charlene. Okay, item 4, Parish President Archie Chesson to present a proclamation proclaiming the month of May 2024 as Foster Care Awareness Month. And Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas the welfare and future of Lafourche Parish depends on the well-being of our children, and those in foster care are especially deserving of the care and attention. And whereas May is nationally recognized as Foster Care Awareness Month, a time to honor and support foster children, foster parents, social workers, court-appointed special advocates, also known as CASA volunteers, and a multitude of organizations, including Department of Children and Family Services, religious groups, nonprofits that bolster our foster care system. And whereas the color blue is designated as an emblem of commitment to foster children, symbolizing the community's support for their courage and resilience. And whereas it is critical during Foster Care Awareness Month to evaluate awareness about the needs of our children in foster care and celebrate the profound contributions of those dedicated to enhancing their lives. And whereas fostering an increased commitment within the community to recruit and support foster families who provide secure, stable, and loving homes is essential for the growth and development of these children. And whereas we invite the residents and organizations, faith-based groups, the businesses in Lafourche Parish to wear blue in solidarity with foster children and to partake in the activities that aim to meet the needs of these young individuals. And whereas we acknowledge and applaud the unwavering efforts of DCFS, social workers, CASA volunteers, foster parents, relative placements, religious organizations, nonprofit groups, courts, judges, lawyers, government leaders, and judicial personnel who play a critical role in fostering and advocating for the welfare of children. Now therefore, I, Archie Chesson, Parish President of Lafourche, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2024 as Foster Care Awareness Month. And I'm not sure that we have anybody here tonight to get it, but we'll get it to him, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Item E, presentations and our updates. Number 5, Parish President to recognize Lafourche Parish Government Employee of the Month and our WOW Employee for the month of April 2024. And Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our Employee of the Month this month is an integral part of the success of the Galliana Field Office, and regardless of the task at hand, he is always willing to help a hand and find a way to get the job done. In addition to his regular duties as equipment operator too, he volunteers when needed as a bridge tender and a truck driver, and he also conducts the weekly safety meetings at the Galliana Field Office and incorporates a different operator and piece of equipment in each week's presentation. He is really truly an asset to the Galliana Field Office, and if you've ever been down there, you know how clean and safe they are. So we're happy to award Mr. Don Daniels our Employee of the Month this month.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service to our citizens.
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Item 6, Mr. Barry Leday, Fire Protection District Number 7, to present an annual report. Barry, you got the floor, sir. Just press the button when you get to the mic.
Barry Leday, 210 Rue Grand Chien, Thibodaux, Louisiana. I'm the Secretary Treasurer for Fire District 7. I come to give my yearly report. In the 2022, we ended with $60,580.26. $50,000 went to the capital improvement account. We had a beginning balance of $10,580.26. We collected $118,196.56 in ad valorem taxes. Insurance rebate, $11,061.59. Miscellaneous income of $240. Total income, $140,078.41. We had an expense of $103,814.62. It had a balance of $36,263.79 at the end of 2023. Capital improvement account, we have $100,872.65 and we have two $100,000 CDs, and we collected our savings, $353.94 interest. We completed all our audits, turned in all our reports to the parish. We do file our millage renewal in 2025, and I talked to Ms. Colleen. I'm going to send the resolution in to her. We voted 5-0 to proceed with that. 308 received grants of $27,000 that we use for turnout gear. That way we don't have to use our funds. We're lucky to have these two grants. We changed out 2 hydrants to 3-way, and at the end of Beauchene, we completed Beauchene to help out with the rating. We maintain a Class 4 rating. We purchased a 2016 salvage rescue for $100,000, and we purchased a rescue spreader for about $5,418. We got a lot of wrecks down 308 right there, so we have to have double the amount of equipment. Any questions?
Anybody got any questions of Barry? I have none. Much appreciated, Barry.
Thank you.
Appreciate your service.
Appreciate y'all. All
Appreciate your service. Thank you. Item F, Legal Advisor Report. We have none. Item G, Engineers and our Architect Reports.
Good evening, Kevin Nazar with GIS Engineering. I'll be updating you all on our projects. All right, starting off. I don't think I'm close enough. There we go. All right, we got the Butch Hill Pump Station, so we submitted the 99%. I mean, essentially this project is ready to go. We submitted those into Lafourche Parish staff for review and comment. We have all the permits. Other than that, I think we're just waiting on funds to go to construction on this one. All right, on the Valentine Pontoon Bridge project, we've had a lot of meetings in the past month with DOTD and Federal Highway on this project. We're trying to coordinate how to move forward and the best path forward on this job. So hopefully we come to a resolution in the next couple months. And we have a clear path forward on how we're going to get this project executed. Other than that, the final design is ready. So we're just trying to figure out how the funding sources is going to work for this job. Any questions on this one? Guess I should have asked on the other two.
So my only question is, you're not going to come to every meeting and just give us the same report for the next year, huh?
I'm really hopeful not.
Okay.
Like I said, we have had a lot of meetings lately, and it just takes DOTD and Federal Highway. Every time we talk with them, they're like, well, we'll get you an answer in 3 to 4 weeks. And it turns into 6 weeks.
Appreciate it. I just don't see anything new from the last reports. That's the reason I'm asking. I'm looking for just what's new, not what's already been talked about. But anyway, Thank you.
So for the Grand Bayou Freshwater Reintroduction, we kicked off final design. So we will be proceeding with getting the final plans, specifications, and the final design report ready for this project, submitting that tentatively scheduled for the end of this year. So we'll have that ready to go to bid early next year. Questions? Okay. For the waste collection facility, so Dylan requested that we send him some alternative options for that with the trash layer that was developed. So we submitted that, and I think they're currently reviewing the options that we presented. So once we hear back, we'll have a path forward and decide which route we want to take on that one. The Hurricane Ida pump station rehabilitation. This one, I think, has kind of been stationary the past couple months. I think we're just still waiting on FEMA and just to hear back from them on how we're going to proceed and what kind of funds we're going to actually receive. So the Eunice Alamo pump station, we're in the final design phase. This one should be finalized by early June, and we'll submit that for review. Any questions? Okay. And then the Midway drainage study, again, we are working towards this one, expecting preliminary results to be ready for early June also. We'll submit those to staff for review and comment. And then hopefully, pending their review and comment, we should submit the actual report later in June, by the end of June, I mean. And then the Lockport Elevated Boardwalk, really hasn't been much movement on this. The last update on this was it's in ELOS's court on the permitting status. They were waiting on some comments from the Corps on an evaluation that they were requesting.
I think that was the same report we got last meeting.
Yes, sir. As far as we're concerned, I mean, we're not doing the permitting, ELOS is, so we're just waiting on them to make any movement on this. That's all I have for tonight.
Very good. Anyone got any questions? Much appreciated.
All right.
Do we have any other engineers and or architect reports? Okay, brings us to item H, public wishing to address the council, public hearings, agenda items, et cetera. Ms. Carleen, we have none.
None, no, sir.
Brings us to item I, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. And I entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence, absent being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 7, ordinance establishing a four-way stop at the intersection of Ridgefield Road and Talbot Avenue, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Ward 2, District 1, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, installing the necessary four-way stop signs and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Moved by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on ordinance number 7? Second call, public input, ordinance number 7. Last and final call, anyone from the public like to comment on ordinance at number 7? Would anyone from the council like to discuss? Mr. Brumfield, you have the floor, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. There you go, hold on, hold it right now. All right, you got it.
Ordinance number 7, I just believe that it's time for us to do something about the intersection of Ridgefield and Talbot. I mean, one of the councilmen that sat in this seat where I'm sitting, right here, died there. And it's been prolonged for too long. It's time to do something. It's absolutely ridiculous, the amount of tragedies that's happened there, and we've done nothing about it. So I'm just addressing this because it is in my best interest to do what the constituents who have voted for me and put me in this seat wants me to do to make it safe in their district. It's just time for us to do something about it. And that's the reason why I have brought it to the council, and I'm asking you all to support me with this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brumfield. Anyone else from the council like to speak? I'll just say, oh, Mr. Perk, I'm sorry, you got to press your button? I still don't have you. Hold it. Why am I not seeing him?
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Go ahead, Mr. Perk.
I agree with the ordinance. If we do pass this ordinance, what I am asking for is that we get, as soon as these signs get up, we have some type of support system from our sheriff's department regarding, it was something DJ and I talked about, we're looking to protect mainly our constituents going north and south on Ridgefield Road, because they currently have a stop sign. Talbot is open, okay, and the traffic is excessive, and there is a little excessive speeding there, but ultimately, those accidents there, what I'm concerned about is once we do put up those four-way stops, that traffic going east to west on Talbot, if they don't pay attention to it and our Ridgefield Road traffic has traditionally stopped and they proceed to go across, we're going to have just as bad of an accident. So that's all. We need to have some type of support, 30 days or whatever, from our Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Department, be it signage or, however they choose, deem necessary. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Perk. And Mr. Chesson, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I agree with you, Mr. Perk. So the ordinances that we have that talks about traffic signs and yield signs link back to DOTD's traffic manual, right? And the traffic manual specifically states that a yield and stop sign should not be installed on the higher volume roadway unless justified by a traffic engineering study. And there hasn't been one. And Councilman Broomfield and I talked about this, and I understand what he's trying to do, but I have the same concern that people historically are not used to stopping at that intersection at Talbot, and we're going to have more wrecks because people are going to be running stop signs, and the people on Ridgefield are going to want to pull out because now they think it's a four-way stop. So I either think we need to, while I understand what Councilman Broomfield's trying to do and the constituents want him to do it, we either need to take the extra month or so and do a traffic study and see if we can make it work before we go throw up some stop signs and then the sheriff's office does or doesn't participate in it, right? Or they participate for a couple days and then because of call volumes, their traffic guys disappear because we know how busy they are, and then we end up with some accidents, right? So I think while I understand what Councilman Broomfield's trying to do, I'm not very comfortable with it from a safety standpoint and the liability that it would potentially put on the parish if we just go drop these signs out.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. And T-Boo, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm here.
There you go.
All right, I don't mind putting the stop signs, but can we put some of those, like, maybe stripes that do brrr right before you get to it to warn them? Or maybe Okay, can we do that again? That might help. Because, I mean, you hit that, you're going to know something's wrong. Or maybe the light's flashing around that says stop, just bright. Something like that, Because I'm with you, yeah. It's not been there and people fly there anyway, but it is needed, so, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. And Mr. Broomfield. It's not showing me.
Why you not sure?
You have the floor. You good?
I'm not comfortable with the amount of accidents that's been happening there.
Yeah, but
It wasn't there.
And I tell you what, if they do a investigation or whatever you have, I would have went for traffic lights. But I know that you all have to do an investigation. So I thought it was in my best interest just to go for the four-way stop signs.
We'll see.
Only because we could do that faster. I mean, the amount, even the officer knows, the amount of accidents they have there. I mean, there's just no way there. It'll increase if we put four-way stops. I mean, how could it? How could it? If we notify the public that it's a four-way stop there. So I think that it just benefits the people in District 1 and Lafourche Parish, well, if you have, to put a four-way stop there. I mean, how long are we going to prolong? People, I mean, I'm driving. I witnessed accidents there. I witnessed a guy go almost in the middle of the cane field, trying to dodge a car. I mean, we had a council member, just like I said, a council member who was killed there. It's just time, man. I mean, what else could we do? Even if we did go for the investigation and they turned us down, then what? What are we going to do, put a bridge there? What else is there for us to do?
Thank you, Mr. Brumfield. And Mr. Araby, you have the floor, sir.
I attended the South Central Planning meeting a week or so ago over there in Homer, and that intersection was brought up at that meeting. And just to let y'all all know that South Central Planning is trying to do, or going to do, a survey of that intersection and do a recommendation what can be done. If anything, I'm not saying we can't vote before we stop tonight, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to let y'all know that South Central Planning is very aware of that intersection, and they are doing a study to see what can be done to make that a safer intersection.
Thank you, Mr. Araby. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, I had relatives who got T-boned there driving from the Canal Boulevard towards the other side of Thibodeau, and their car was rolled over. So it is a dangerous intersection. I would still, a roundabout might be better. I'm not saying let's go by a roundabout, but my point is I think something needs to be done. I just know that traffic, I don't know if most of the accidents are going down or coming up the road, but of course, it's happening. So I'm not against the study. I wish South Central Planning would come up with something, but again, it's definitely a dangerous intersection.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Mr. Burke.
My question, I guess, is if we do the four-way stop and then South Central Planning comes up with a different proposal, where are we at then? Do we pull up the four-way stop and we go to South Central Planning's recommendations, or do we maybe investigate a little bit, find out exactly when are they going to come up with a proposal before we do these four-way stops? You know, it is a dangerous intersection. It needs to be addressed. I'm wondering if it's a moot point. Did they give you any idea?
They didn't give a time, and you just told, I heard it when they brought it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So hold on. You're talking without a mic, so it's not being picked up. All right, Terry, go ahead. Say what you had to say.
Okay.
Repeat whatever you were saying.
I did mention to them that we're had an ordinance on the books to pass at this meeting for a four-way stop sign. And if they wanted us to go ahead with it, they didn't answer me on that. But I want to let them know that there was a four-way stop sign at our next meeting, which is tonight. So evidently, if that survey comes back and it's maybe trying to do something else, then as a council, we can pull a four-way stop if we want to pull it and go with their recommendations, or, you know, we can cross the bridge when we get there.
Thank you, Mr. Harreby. Mr. Chesson.
So we're going to, I say we, so you guys are going to vote for something. We're going to spend money to go put it up to potentially have to take it back down. That's got to be the most government thing I've ever heard in my life. Right? And again, I understand what Councilman Broomfield's trying to do, but are we going to go to Ridgefield and 3185 and put a stop sign? Or are we going to go to every intersection that there's an intersecting street hitting a major thoroughfare where there's a few accidents? And I get it. You know, Councilman Brown was killed there. I've seen accidents there. The accidents come from people on Ridgefield who are trying to pull out into oncoming traffic on Talbot, right? Talbot's not the issue. It's the people on Ridgefield. So we can either wait for South Central to do it. We can have a different engineer look at the traffic study. I don't see spend money to publish an ordinance, to put signs up, to potentially go back and take them down. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I'm only here on the end for information, so.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Brumfield.
I don't think it makes a difference if the accident is coming from Ridgefield or not. It's an accident. And statistically, with the statistics, it's been many accidents there. Several accidents. Just about, 2 weeks ago, I got Snapchats of accidents there. It's just ongoing and ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. Even if we do the four-way stop, I think it's just better to roll the dice and do the four-way stop. And if they come up with something else better, then at least we've done something. That's my thing. At least we've done something to prevent and for the safety of those people. Let's just do something.
Thank you, Mr. Brumfield. Mr. Melvin, if you will hold the gavel for a minute. I want to comment, so I'll be a firm no on four-way stops. I don't believe in them. I think they're dangerous. And certainly to roll the dice on somebody's life, I'm not going to sit here and vote yay for a four-way stop that may kill somebody. So until there's an engineering study done and somebody says to do it, there's no way in the world that I'll vote for it. 32 years in the fire service, I was involved, Mr. Brumfield, I'll just tell you, off of Percy Brown, I was in the wrong. The city decided to put a new four-way stop. After driving the same place for 15 years, I blew through the stop sign. Luckily, I didn't kill the lady. She left an ambulance. She was pretty banged up, but total 2 vehicles. So for me, I'm all about safety, 32 years in the fire service, but until somebody says that it's safer to put a four-way stop than some other alternative, there's no way that I can support it. So I just want you to know my position and why I feel that way. Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Mr. Brumfield, you have the floor, sir.
Well, let me ask you, is it safer just to let it be and continue to do accidents? What's the difference? Is it safer to let it be and continue to have accidents, and we've gone on all night and talked about it, and then we leave out here and then somebody's killed there, then how will we feel? So is it safer? Here we are trying to prevent accidents, and then we're talking about what if we put a four-way stop up there, a place where there are already accidents happening. And then we up here talking about if we put a four-way stop there, we're afraid that there'll be more accidents. Are you serious?
Thank you, Mr. Brumfield. Any further discussion on this? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes, please raise your hand. All against, say nay. Nay. Motion fails with 3 yeas, that being Mr. Brumfield, Mr. Adams, and Mr. Lorraine. Nays being Mr. Araby, Mr. Roderick, Mr. Pert, Mr. Otem, Mr. Melvin, and 1 absent, that being Councilwoman Chesson. Brings us to item 8, ordinance granting a variance from the Lafourche Parish subdivision regulations from the installation of a fire hydrant in the proposed Indy Lee Mere Fort Public Subdivision as not recommended by the Lafourche Parish Planning Commission at their March 27, 2024 meeting. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Would anyone from the public like to comment on ordinance number 8? Second call, public input, ordinance number 8. Last and final call, anyone from the public would like to comment on ordinance number 8? Anyone from the council wants to discuss ordinance number 8? Yeah, so it's pretty surprising that no one's here to talk about a variance not recommended by the Parish Planning Commission. So from the fire service, absolutely should have hydrants. Everybody else is required. So y'all know where I stand on this one. If no one wants to discuss this one, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Ayes were less. If the ayes would please raise your hand. Motion fails with 1 yea, that being Mr. Adams, 7 nays, and 1 absence being Ms. Chesson. Good? All right, thank you. Item 9, ordinance declaring property as surplus belongings to Lafourche Parish government, authorizing the disposal of surplus property, authorizing advertising of surplus items for sale, authorizing acceptance of the highest qualified bidders, and any remaining items that are deemed to have no value will be properly discarded, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. And can someone move? Mr. Adams will move from Ms. Chesson on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 9? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 9. Last and final call for public input at ordinance number 9. Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence, that absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 10, ordinance providing for a 2024 supplemental appropriation 24-004 within the 2024 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget to carry over projects from 2023, close out debt funds due to refinancing and create new projects, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public would like to comment on item 10? Second call for public input, ordinance at number 10. Last and final call, anyone from the public would like to comment on the ordinance at number 10? Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. I'll now entertain a motion to close public hearing. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Brings us to item J, proposed ordinances. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor, sir.
Proposed ordinance number 11. Proposed ordinance establishing a four-way stop sign at the intersection of St. Bernard Street and First Street, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Ward 1, District 3, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, installing the necessary four-way stop signs and providing penalties for the violations thereof, moved by Mr. Perk. Number 12, Proposed ordinance approving a purchase agreement between Lafourche Parish government and the Land Glow LLC to purchase the property located at 118 Cliff Lane, Golden Meadow, Louisiana, in a total amount of $301,000, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 13, proposed ordinance providing for a 2024 supplemental appropriation 24-005 within the 2024 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget, increasing the budget for the West 11th Street Drainage Project 22035 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Ms. Chasson for the administration. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot. She's cruising. Would someone move from?
Yeah.
What's that?
Just put them on Lisa real quick. She can have them back when she's here.
Okay. Mr. Otan will move for Ms. Chasson. Number 14, proposed ordinance approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and River Birch Renewable Energy LLC and enter into intergovernmental agreements with the town of Lockport and the town of Golden Meadow relative to parish-wide garbage and trash collection, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreements and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Otan for the administration. Number 15, proposed ordinance approving an agreement with River Birch LLC for disposal services and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement in any of all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Otan for the administration. Number 16, proposed ordinance approving a servitude agreement between Michael J. Stanley and Jennifer Uso Stanley for Lafourche Parish government and the Thibodeau area, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Would someone please move for me?
I got it.
Thank you. Mr. Williams will move for me on that. Number 17, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6747 that approved Civic Source to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located on East 96th Street, Galliano, Louisiana, 70354, assessment number 010230810, due to non-payment of ad valorem property taxes, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Move by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 18, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6750 that approved a non-warranty cash sale agreement for property adjudicated to the Lafourche Parish government located on East 96th Street, Galliano, Louisiana, 70354, assessment number 0102308010, for a minimum amount of $4,000, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 19, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at East 96th Street, Cutoff, Louisiana, 70345, assessment number 0102308010, with a minimum starting bid of $14,597.47, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Lorraine for the administration. Number 20, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6784 that approved Civic Source to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at 107 Myrtle DeLawn Street, Lockport, Louisiana, 70374, assessment number 0041449836, due to non-payment of ad valorem property taxes, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Otan for the administration. Number 21, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6823 that approved a non-warranty cash sale agreement for the property adjudicated to Lafourche Parish government located at 107 Myrtle DeLawn Street, Lockport, Louisiana, 70374, assessment number 0041449836, for a minimum starting bid of $5,620, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Otan for the administration. Number 22, Proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction adjudicated property located at 107 Myrtle DeLawn Street, Lockport, Louisiana 70374, assessment number 0041449836, with a minimum starting bid of $5,624.89, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Move by Mr. Otan for the administration. Number 23, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6838 that approves Civic Source to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at 20644 Highway 1, Golden Meadow, Louisiana 70357, assessment number 0102155,800, with a minimum starting bid of $13,741.80 due to non-payment of ad valorem property taxes, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 24, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6845 that approved a non-warranty cash sale agreement for property adjudicated to Lafourche Parish government located at 20644 Highway 1, Golden Meadow, Louisiana 70357, assessment number 0102155,800, with a minimum starting bid of $13,741.80, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 25, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at 20644 Highway 1, Golden Meadow, Louisiana 70357, assessment number 0102155,800, with a minimum starting bid of $11,840.97, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 26, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at 102 Smith Willow Drive, Houma, Louisiana 70364, assessment number 0110719,650, with a minimum starting bid of $6,588.87, and authorizes the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Move on Mr. Rodrigue for the administration. Number 27, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at 125A West 225th Street, Golden Meadow, Louisiana 70357, assessment number 0102158,900, with a minimum starting bid of $6,242.43, and authorizes the parish president to sign, execute, administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 28, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at LaFour Bypass Road, Thibodaux, Louisiana 70301, assessment number 0110655,403, with a minimum starting bid of $12,648.52, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Would someone please move for me? Thank you, Mr. Williams. Number 29, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction adjudicated property located at Palmetto Street, Golden Meadow, Louisiana 70357, assessment number 0102091200, with a minimum starting bid of $4,720.09. And authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Move on Ms. Lorraine for the administration. Number 30, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC, SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction adjudicated property located at 632 Danar Street, Lot 1, Raceland, Louisiana 70394, assessment number 0031144,900, with a minimum starting bid of $11,505.57, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Araby for the administration. Number 31, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services to publicly advertise and auction adjudicated property located at 139 Triple Oaks Drive, Raceland, Louisiana 70394, assessment number 0072703,400, with a minimum starting bid of $23,493.42, and authorizes the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Araby for the administration. Proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group LLC and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at 1327 Street, Marie Drive, Houma, Louisiana 70364, assessment number 0110808300, with the minimum starting bid of $21,718.88, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Rodrake for the administration. Number 33, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group, LLC, and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at 2607 North Bayou Drive, Golden Meadow, Louisiana 70357, assessment number 0102066100, with a minimum starting bid of $8,585.61, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 34, public ordinance approving NOLA Title Group, LLC, and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction adjudicated property located at 128 Conn Street, Raceland, Louisiana 70394, assessment number 0072692200, with a minimum starting bid of $7,974.80, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Araby for the administration. Number 35, ordinance approving NOLA Title Group, LLC, and SRI Services Incorporated to publicly advertise and auction adjudicated property located at 151 West 177th Street, Galliano, Louisiana 70354, assessment number 0101966300, with a minimum starting bid of $12,637.23, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Number 36, proposed ordinance approving NOLA Title Group, LLC, SRI Services to publicly advertise and auction the adjudicated property located at 305 Carroll Street, Thibodaux, Louisiana 70301, assessment number 0010214700, with a minimum starting bid of $4,189.68, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Broomfield for the administration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Melvin. That was a lot of numbers. My eyes are crossing looking through these reading glasses. All right, very good.
Thank you.
Item K, resolutions. Number 37, resolution requesting the administration to consider funding the 8 senior citizen centers in Lafourche Parish since funds for Lafourche on the Move have been depleted. Moved by Ms. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Discussion. You have the floor, Ms. Lorraine.
Yes, thank you, Orman. The reason why I put this on the agenda is because I've been asked by many senior citizens to see if we could come up with some funding since Lafourche on the Move has depleted. When we had Lafourche on the Move, they had $5,000 at one time to the different centers. And then it went down to $3,000. And now it's practically depleted. It's not there anymore. So I think, me personally, not because I'm a senior citizen, I think we owe it to the senior citizens of the parish, because the council on aging doesn't really give them everything they need. They have electric bills, they have furniture, or whatever they need in that center. Now we're talking about 8 centers in the parish. I'm recommending the administration would give them each a $10,000 and let them do what they need to do with it. I mean, just recently we gave $350,000 to the art. Nobody blinked an eye. And I think the senior citizens deserve this, or probably even more. But at least let's give them something so they can continue to do their thing. Because one day, some of you guys will become a senior citizen. And I'm not doing it because I'm a senior citizen. When I got elected, I was 30 years old, and I always supported the senior citizens. I've always supported them then, and I'm going to support them now, and I'm going to support them when I'm gone. So I'm just asking y'all to support it. I'm asking the administration to come up with some money. I'm sure they could find it. You know, I've learned politicians, I've learned it real good. When they really need to find some money, they find it. So I'm just asking, not going to argue with anybody. Appreciate it. It's just a request. Appreciate if the council supports it and the administration gives them the $80,000. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Lorraine. Any more discussion? I will say that I have also been talking to that parish administration, trying to find funds in the budget for a supplemental for this year, and then on the council side, we need to make sure that we work to get this in the budget every year going forward. So I think we faltered as well by not getting in the budget. Although it was there before, and, anyway, the administrator has been very receptive to my discussions. And I will tell you that I know in Lockport, the recreation districts used to help support as well some of their programs. Unfortunately, I guess that's not happening as well. So anyway, we have some work to do. With that said, all right. Mr. Melvin has just pressed his button. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, I just had a good question, too, because, look, my dad's a senior citizen, right? And, of course, hopefully we'll all be again, like you say. Is the funding source moving forward and just looking forward, where were the funds coming from originally? Because I know it's been around a little while, but could you tell me on that? Or moving forward, how we can make sure that not only if we need to help them, we help them, but where was it being funded from and what happened to that?
All right, Mr. Chasson, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Councilman Melvin, in 2004, when Ms. Randolph came into office, the parish had a huge surplus of money because of the issues that President Burrow had. So there was a rededication fund, it's Fund 128, that Councilman Lorraine has pointed out for several times, that put money toward the Lafourche on the Move program. That money was depleted. It was specifically designated for that program. So going forward, it would either have to come out of the general fund or recreation, one of those two items. So I've talked to Ms. Rodriguez last week and some this week about what they would do with the money. We need to, I guess, ask the questions of the district attorney. We'd have to do some sort of cooperative endeavor agreement with each senior citizen center. But I don't know that we can pay for like operations. So, one of the things Ms. Charlene listed was like water and coffee and toiletries and whether they're paying their light bill with it or insurance. I'm not sure how we get to that point, right? If they need like activities and things that Lafourche on the Move was designated for, that's where I think we can help with the funding. I'm not sure the operations and the sustainability of the senior citizen centers fall on the backs of recreation, right? But I think the programming can, and that's just what we need to work out.
Great. I think a lot of them would enjoy seeing the programs. All right, if there's no further discussion, we'll bring this to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chasson. Brings us to item 38, resolution approving an agreement between the Parish of Lafourche and the Eagle Scouts for the installation of swing sets by the walking trail park area at the Cutoff Youth Center, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone like to discuss this item? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chasson. Item 39, resolution accepting a donation from the Lafourche Parish Hospital Service District Number 1, DBA Lady of the Sea General Hospital, in the amount of $25,000 to assist with the costs associated with the construction of a fitness court in Golden Meadow, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Rodrigue. Any discussion? You have the floor.
Did the town of Golden Meadow participate in this?
Mr. Chasson, you have the floor, sir.
Other than giving us a spot at the park, not financially, but they were very helpful in giving us a space at the park and working with us on how to put it together. But I do want to thank Mr. Chairman while I have the mic. Lady of the Sea, I think there's an agreement on later on the agenda with them to help finance it. Mr. Mike Colley, the Melico sisters, Norris and Boudreaux, our recreation staff. I mean, these grants are somewhat easy to come by, but I think the more we put these things out, the more people use them, the more we'll see them in everybody's districts.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chasson. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chasson. Item 40, resolution approving the purchase of a vehicle from the City of Thibodaux for the Lafourche Parish Coroner's Office, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any all relevant documents. Can someone move for me from administration? Mr. Howes would move on behalf of administration, second by Mr. Rodrigue. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chasson. Resolution approving an agreement between the Parish of Lafourche and Environmental Safety and Health Consulting Services Incorporated to provide response services and cleanup services for emergency-type situations, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and all relevant documents. Mr. Araby is going to move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is any opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 42, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Picciolo and Associates Incorporated for engineering services for road sales tax district priority road improvement projects and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Adams for administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 43, resolution supporting the Keep Louisiana Beautiful Incorporated organization in Lafourche Parish and creating a Keep Lafourche Beautiful committee and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Number 44, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between LAT Workforce Development Board Incorporated and Lafourche Parish Government Office of Community Action to provide universal access to employment and training services through the American Job Center one-stop system and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said memorandum of understanding and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine will move on behalf of administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 45, resolution rejecting the bid from Cycle Construction Company LLC in the amount of $7,072,375 for Phase 2 of the Alidor Drainage Improvement Project and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Araby for the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 46, resolution approving change order number 5 for the project titled Hurricane Ida Repairs, Third Block Building, Phase 1 re-roofing, increasing the contract price by $3,989 and adding 35 days to the contract time, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. The absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 47, resolution approving Lafourche Parish Government to re-advertise for bids for Phase 2 of the Alidor Drainage Improvement Project and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Araby for the administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 48, resolution approving an agreement with Ducks Unlimited Incorporated for the development of the Highway 1 Marsh Terracing and Living Shoreline Project and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? Is this some of the terracing that's going on at the intersection of Port Fouchon as you turn towards Grand Isle? They got those marsh buggies all in there? Mr. Chesson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is going to be a different project from that, but that's one of the other projects that we partnered with the Port, Conoco, and DU on.
Awesome. Very good. There being no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Ms. Chesson. Item 49, resolution reappointing 1 member on the Veterans Memorial District Ward 10 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana Board. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Lorraine?
Van Kurt Schwess.
I'm sorry. Say it again, Mr. Lorraine.
Van Kurt Schwess.
Mr. Schwess, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passed 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 50, resolution appointing 1 member on the Veterans Memorial District Ward 10 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana Board, representing the VFW Post 8538. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Lorraine?
Gregory Bado.
Mr. Bado, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 50, resolution appointing 1 member on the Veterans Memorial District Ward 10 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana Board, and I am reading the same one. Sorry. 51, resolution appointing 1 member on the Fire Protection District Number 8B Board. Ms. Adams for the administration, and who do you have, Mr. Adams?
Cheryl Hebert.
Ms. Hebert, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 52, resolution reappointing 2 members on the Fire Protection District Number 7 Board. Mr. Melvin for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Melvin?
2 vacancies, 2 applicants, Mr. Ricky Blanchard and Mr. Barry Leday.
Mr. Blanchard, Mr. Leday, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 53, resolution appointing 1 member to the Recreation District Number 1 Board. Mr. Araby for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Araby? Hold on. Okay.
1 vacancy, 2 applicants, Mr. Joshua Adams.
Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 54, resolution appointing 1 member on the Lafourche Parish Animal Shelter Advisory Board representing Council District 1, Mr. Broomfield for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Broomfield?
Captain Michael Beck.
Gotcha. Go.
Captain Michael Beck.
Mr. Beck, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 55, resolution appointing 2 members on the Fire Protection District Number 6 Board. Mr. Perk for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Perk?
I have 2 vacancies, 3 applicants. Recommend Buffy Bourne and Mr. Bradford Robichaux.
Bourne and Robichaux, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 56, resolution approving an agreement between Ginn Auction Company Incorporated and Lafourche Parish Government to advertise and auction surplus property and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 57, resolution accepting the bid from Freetown Builders LLC in the amount of $337,000 for the project titled Hurricane Ida Repair Renovation Sheriff's Office Interior and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 58, resolution approving an agreement between Principal Engineering Incorporated and Lafourche Parish Government to provide professional services for specific projects and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 59, resolution accepting the bid from Sea Level Construction Incorporated in the amount of $875,440 for the project titled Movant Pump Station Access and Bridge Design Project and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Melvin. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 60, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Foundation for Terrebonne General Health System for the Sudden Impact Distracted Driving Program in Lafourche Parish and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Araby will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item 61, resolution approving a Workforce Innovative and Opportunity Act, WIOA, multi-jurisdictional consortium agreement between Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, Assumption Parish Police Jury, and Lafourche Parish Government, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for administration, second by Mr. Roderick. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes with 7 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention, that being Councilman Melvin, and 1 absence, that being Councilwoman Chesson. Good, Ms. Carleen?
Yes, sir.
Item 62, resolution approving a use of facilities agreement between Parish of Lafourche and the Moses Community Center for the use of the Moses Community Center for Lafourche Parish Recreation Summer Programs and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and all relevant documents. Mr. Brumfield, administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent. That absence being Councilwoman Chesson. Item L, motion number 63. I'll entertain a motion to appoint the Daily Comment as the official journal for the Lafourche Parish Council for the period from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 at the rate of $5.50 per square of 100 words. Someone move on my behalf. We have Councilman Perk, second by Mr. Roderick. Discussion.
Nope.
Notice. Oh, okay. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, I'm just curious, since 2016, do you know what we've spent on this number offhand?
It's a lot.
But I sent it to you yesterday,
Well,
21.
It's a lot.
Well, I just find that every year we talk about it, and we could be saving taxpayers a lot of money in the long run. I know it has to be done through the state. We're not getting any traction from the state?
That's correct. So this was something that State Rep Ogeron, well, I'll back up. State Rep Bagala was gonna bulldog it. Mr. Ogeron picked it up and has since kind of is died out. So as I understand it right now, there's still some chatterbox out there, but nothing has been, and so it's a complete waste of money, and it continues to be.
Yeah,
But it's a
I have
state,
to ask.
it is a state mandate, and we have no options.
Yeah, I mean, I have to
Which
ask,
is crazy. Best thing is if we can not have to do all these rescind and redos like we did tonight with all those ordinances you had to repropose. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
So are they located anywhere in Lafourche? Or are they completely out of here? Makes a lot of sense.
It makes no sense.
Well, you read my mind. I ain't voting for that.
All right. We just have no state, we have, from the state statute, we have no options, and it's frustrating. With that said, any further discussion? We'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Nays, raise your hand. Okay. So nays, raise your hand again so I can state you. So Mr. Lorraine, Mr. Melvin, Mr. Adams, and Mr. Brumfield. So the motion fails 4-4. So we'll have to publish. So we'll have to publish this and bring it up again. So we're going to spend more money. So anyway, it fails. Lorraine, Melvin, Adams, and Brumfield. Yeah. So item M, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, and Managers' reports, presentations, and our updates. Number 64, Department of Public Works Representative to present a report. Mr. Barone, you have the floor, sir.
It's not like I sent y'all an email to ask y'all to please.
It just makes no sense because it's a state mandate.
It is a state mandate, nothing can be done about it.
Can you light up Dylan? Can you light up Dylan?
Thank you, sir. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with the May presentation. As always, starting with the Thibodeau Field Office, we repaired potholes on Arm Street, as well as Waverly Road, swept roadside ditches on Constant Drive. Now for the Choctaw Field Office, the Chack Bay South Levee, clean Barrel Canal. We did a little bit of musical chairs with some portable pumps we have in the area. Lewis Pump was moved to a new right-of-way we acquired, as well as Remy Pump. With the pump being down, we deployed another portable. Moving to the Bayou Blue Field Office, Azalane Street. Removed debris from roadside ditch. Hosea Skyline Drive, swept roadside ditches. Louise Lane, cleaned Cog Catch Basin, as well as the culverts. For the Raceland Field Office, this is Recreation Drive. This is a request we got at a council meeting, swept roadside ditches. As well as behind the recreation fields on the North 3rd Street right-of-way. This is Landmark Drive, swept roadside ditches. District 3 of 12, our Crest Pump Station, clean trash screen. And we also cleaned the trash screen on Thoroughbred Pump Station. As for Lockport Field Office, Superior Drive. This is the outfall, the beginning of the outfall behind the residential structures. First Street, repair the speed hump. North David Street, clean catch basin. Gus Savoy Avenue, swept roadside ditches. Moving to Galliana Field Office is East 85th Street. We cleared a blocked culvert here. You see a chunk of cement was shoved into a culvert for some reason. West 54th Street, swept roadside ditches. West 72nd Street, removed collapsed landscape culverts. West 137th Street, swept roadside ditches. East 43rd Place, removed collapsed landscape culverts. As far as work completed by the maintenance contractor, you'll see we did a bunch of concrete panels on Olivia Drive. We try to knock out all the panels in one subdivision while we're mobilized. This is work completed on Sugar Ridge Drive and Cascade Drive. As far as some curbing that was completed by the contractor, it was completed on Shadow Point. Another big project that was completed by the maintenance contractor over the last month was the removal of the Valentine Pontoon Bridge. You see here where it's still standing and they're just getting started. And then as it is today, completed. As far as the office work completed over the last month, there were no permanent servitudes acquired. We're currently working on one and hope to have it at the next meeting. 2 major subdivisions were inspected and 1 major subdivision was reviewed. There was 1 property redivision that was reviewed. 16 culvert permits and 6 fence permits were issued. 352 work requests were received. 90 permits were reviewed for compliance. And 11 jobs in total completed by the maintenance contractor. As far as projects in the engineering phase, there's 25 currently in design phase, 7 under construction, 1 that's out to bid, and I guess the project that's complete is actually a portion of a project that was complete, so just to be clear on that one. And with that, I'll entertain any questions.
All right, Mr. Burke, you have the floor, sir. And what we'll do is y'all just all present your questions, and then Dylan can attempt to answer them all afterwards.
Okay. First of all, thanks for everything you guys have been working on for me the last couple of weeks. So, been getting a lot of thank yous. So, thank you, staff. Secondly, I saw we have a blown engine at Layton 7, so just kind of curious what our game plan is for that moving forward. Thanks.
All right, Mr. Lorraine.
Yes, I just want to thank the administration. I knew I'd get Archie's attention. We've been having bridge problems in South Lafourche. Out of 6 bridges, 3 of them were out. But as far as the Golden Meadow Bridge, where I live at, that one's going to been out for 2 years in November. Then when the Galliana Bridge goes out, then we got to come to South Lafourche Bridge. And that one's been holding up, but it's not in the best shape. The LaRose one is out for a month. And it was just bad. And but the Galliana Bridge was fixed pretty quick. They kept me in the loop on that one. And so I don't think the people can complain about that one. And I just wanted to thank the administration for doing what they did, because we did it pretty quick. Now, the LaRose one, I think, is that electrical problems, Archie? Panel box? Oh, okay. Because I know you tried to get a curfew, and I don't know where you stand with that, but the only thing I could have told you is when we were able to get the curfew on the bridges, we were denied the LaRose Bridge back then. The reason why we were denied, because there were 2 captains that sent in a letter of objection. But at least it was a try, so I don't know how far you are with that. And like I said, hopefully it doesn't go out again until The new bridge, which is right south of the Galliana Bridge, supposedly should be ready in December, which it's getting there. So maybe that one might be ready before the Golden Medal one. But whatever, bridges are a problem. It's not easy, and it's not fun, and people really don't care for it. I know there was a lot of criticism toward Archie, toward me, toward whoever. But when a bridge breaks, the first thing anybody with their right mind wants to do is fix it. But sometimes you just can't fix it fast enough. And a lot of people say things, and some people say things that are accurate, and a lot of people say things that are not quite true. But once it gets out there, you can't control it. So I'm glad they were picking on you and not me. Thanks.
All right. So, Dylan, I have one item. So, just to, Mr. Perk asked about late number 7. I think Mr. Lorraine asked about La Rose Bridge for a question. I had an inquiry, Mr. Hillary Curl in the back of Romney Drive. In front of him, they had that pothole. He said they went and marked it. They still have not addressed it. It's like a few months. From what I saw, it's not base fill. He just needs a little bit asphalt put in the hole, and that's it, done deal. So I don't think they need to fix. The other thing I'd like to just ask about is the sewer system on Country Village Drive. Gotten a couple of calls. Apparently, a new company's taken over and they've tripled the cost, is what they're saying. I don't know that we have any jurisdiction, any say-so whatsoever. So I kind of was explaining that from my perspective, unless y'all can shed some light. I'd imagine that anybody can install their own sewer system and get off of it. I'm guessing, but I don't know. Anyway, so Dylan, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. So first, I'm going to address Mr. Perk. Thanks for meeting with us the other day. We'll continue knocking out that list best we can. As far as the blown engine on Layton number 7, we do have a spare engine that we believe can handle the load. Unfortunately, on the old pump, there's no tag that tells us any information about it. So we've contacted M&L. We do know it's a low lift. We assume we bought it from them or Welch. We're trying to find some old information to see a pump curve and see if the horsepower that we have required will handle it. If it does, we have an engine that's ready to go in place. It will fit. If not, we are going to purchase another engine to go back in that place to match the other one. So we're working through it. We're trying to get it done. As far as the Galliana Pontoon Bridge, Mr. Lorraine, there is going to be a small closure tomorrow to do some welding on the deck that we noticed. Obviously, we wish we would have noticed it while it was down, but it should be a short while tomorrow, so you'll see that. I do want to say thank you for noticing that, and I can't thank Pisiel and Associates and Sea Level Construction enough. They jumped on it, knocked it out in less than 48 hours, so they did a great job for us, and I want to thank them publicly. And Chairman Oten, for Romney Drive, I'm pretty sure that patch was given to the maintenance contractor. They wait for a pile of them to build up and the plant to be batching asphalt. I will check with them. In the meantime, we're going to put some cold patch in it. But if it was marked in white paint as a square, it's planned to be addressed by the maintenance contractor. But I'll ask the board to take that into consideration. And then I would direct the constituents to the Board of Health. They can answer that. I know we have no jurisdiction once a sewer is privatized, but as far as if they could get off the system and have their own, that would be a good question for the Board of Health.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. And Mr. Chasson, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Daniel, thank you for the thank you. I mean, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the weather last night. You got struck by lightning. I don't know, but I hear you. But no, it did. Dylan busted his butt as well as the Galliana field office guys to get that bridge back up and running. I do want to thank David Brissett and Bo Black with DOTD for sending an employee down on a Friday so we can get it back open before the weekend, because we knew what the traffic issues were because of 657 and Golden Meadow. So I want to thank those guys at DOTD as well. Councilman Lorraine, to answer your questions, it's the span motors up at the top. So everybody has been wondering why the bridge is up in the air and they don't see anybody working. Well, they took the span motors off the top. We had to leave the bridge up for marine traffic. So there is going to be nobody working on the bridge till the motors are rebuilt and need to be put back on. So we've tried to kind of push that through some of the comments we've seen on social media, but it's just to get people to understand that it's not just nobody's working. They're actually getting some stuff done. So hopefully that'll be fixed by the end of the month. I did get an email back from the Coast Guard today. They are going to put an hour curfew in the morning and the afternoon during school traffic peak hours for the bridge. I wanted 2 hours. They only gave us an hour, so I just took what I can get. I tried to make the case that the bridge to the east and west of us both have permanent curfews, but apparently marine traffic is more important than our school kids. So we're going to take the hour, and hopefully that kind of issues a little bit. And Councilman Otan, just to follow up on what Dylan said, I'm not sure once it's on a private system if you can pull off of that. Board of Health is, and DEQ is probably not going to let them because of the impaired waterway behind it and what they're discharging into. But the Board of Health might be their best bet. They may be able to get away with their package plan, but the PSC regulates what those guys can charge. So we'll just deal with it that way.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chasson. Mr. Lorraine has another question. Go ahead.
So, Dylan, that tomorrow they're supposed to have that done by dinner time, right? Some welding by lunch should be finished, completed, the Galliana Bridge? Okay, man.
All right, all right, Dylan, you got it.
Yes, sir. We requested a closure after the school curfew at 8:30. We put it till 12:30. We're hoping to be done before that, but once we start welding on it, we're not sure what we're going to find. So hopefully it's done by 10, but we're going to put the press release out till 12:30 just to be sure.
All right, thank you. Brings us to item N, questions for the administration. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor first, sir.
Yes, thank you. My questions are just real simple. One, Ms. Patsy Lombardo on Fairway. I know I ran into her not long ago, and we had a discussion again. I know there's a long outfall, very deep. I'm wondering if we can just focus on, and this is just me talking, I didn't talk to her, but just anything to get her some relief in regard to her lot, where her AC and everything, the slab is eroding into this outfall. Even if we just micro down to that area, that way it stops threatening her home. Don't know. That's just a question I put out there. I don't need an answer tonight. We can just massage that later. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Adams, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, I was just asking about the land in Jack Bay for the park. I know we were supposed to be getting a appraisal. Just wondering where it's at.
Parkland appraisal. Mr. Araby.
I just got a couple of questions, either for Archer or for Dylan. I had a meeting with the administration last week and discussed several different projects. The main project the meeting was called about was Market Street, and then we discussed maybe 10 other projects I had on the list. So I was just kind of wondering if you had any update on any of the projects that we talked about, or are we moving forward any of them or whatever.
All right, thank you, Mr. Araby. Okay, Dylan, you have the floor first to start answering questions.
Okay, so we're going to email you with the updates on that. Ms. Araby, no real updates yet. Charlie and I have discussed some of the ones you asked from Public Works, but that's it. We're moving on all of them. We'll email you whenever we have full responses. But he and I are in discussion with most of them.
Anything on Mr. Melvin's Fairway outfall relief? Oh, Mr. President jumped ahead of you. All right, Mr. President, I'm sure you want to answer the Adams Parkland appraisal.
I will. So I just sent the appraiser an email asking if he had a close date on it. My hope is that we still close before the session's over with, because I know Representative Fontenot is trying to get us those dollars to help there. And Councilman Melvin on Patsy's ditch, Dylan and I have had some conversations. The same thing we just did on the ditch by Diplomat Way with that kind of matting is what we were kind of looking at there. We wanted to make sure it was going to hold up, and it worked, which it seems to be. So we're going to look at doing something with Miss Patsy's ditch with that stuff. Month and a half, maybe 2, depending on funding.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chasson. And brings us to item O, any other discussion for tonight by anyone? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There being none. Item P, adjournment. I'll now entertain a motion, because there'll be no further business. Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting on May 14, 2024 will be adjourned at 18:28 hours. So moved by Mr. Perks, second by Mr. Lorraine. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent. That absence being Councilwoman Chasson.
Did y'all not read my email I sent?